Is it wrong, in the year 2020, for a parent to feel that they are solely responsible for their children's upbringing, education, and medication? Is it wrong, in this day and age, for a parent to believe they have the right to know exactly what laws and guidelines surround their children, whether they're in school or out? This is the continuing efforts of Kaylee and other mothers to find out where the tests are being done and what the rules are regarding their children being tested without consent.
Hi.
Hi there, have you registered?
I haven't got an appointment. I need to ask something because nobody can answer a question.
Yeah, I know the website's real down at the moment as well.
Right, no, it's just basic. Oh, so, hang on. So it's I've been in touch with the school, right, based on the guidelines that they've given us, saying that the children need to get tested if they've got a temperature or whatever. Yeah. But I've been around all the government departments, including the Department of Health and Social Care. No one can tell me who's doing these tests with the
here.
Yeah, but what company or what laboratory actually does the testing and what science is behind it? Because we can't actually find any of that information, and nobody can tell me.
To be honest, we're literally here just to do the testing.
Yeah, so that's what I assumed. So, that's what I assumed.
Well, company's G4S, but that's not a.
You haven't got any literature about where it goes or anything, or any inserts from the tests themselves or anything? Because it's just they want the kids to have it, but we just want to kind of know where it's going, you know, like who's actually responsible for.
We can get our leaf. Where's our leaf?
What's the question?
Basically, it's just there's so many of us trying to find out exactly who's doing the test, like what science is it actually based on? Because they want our children to have it.
So where the labs are, basically.
Pretty much where the labs are, what company's doing it, because I've been through all of the government departments to try and find out. The health secretary, the school don't know. My MP can't tell me. You know.
I don't know. To be honest, I think it's kept quiet.
You do think it's kept quiet? I think it's kept quiet too. That's the problem. That's why we're asking.
It doesn't obviously can't get sent too far because they literally are sent away 3 times a day.
Yeah.
And come back the next morning.
But you've got no clue as to where they go.
The Royal Mail, and we're not to know where they go.
Right. Okay. No. I just had to come and exhaust it because I've been on the phone to everyone.
There's been loads of school children coming through, though. I am aware of that.
Yeah. So, yeah. Because I mean, it's in the guidelines, isn't it? And it then goes straight to the government website, which is the same advice it gives to everybody else, and it's got nothing on there. No, it's fine.
But no one on here would know.
No, that's fine. No, I appreciate. I just had to exhaust it because I was driving past, and I thought I may as well ask.
Just keep the window.
Are you getting the tests?
No, not until they can tell me who's doing it. No.
Just do. I'm trying to. Okay, yeah. So you're meant to go out here, but there's a car behind. Nigel, can I?
Get them to reverse up.
Yeah, we'll just get you. If you
Okay. Sorry to take your time. I just had to try it. Thank you.
The following calls are to G4S, a curious security firm that seems to be holding the COVID tests, and Boots, the only named company on any website that does COVID tests.
Good afternoon, Chief. How can I help you?
Hiya, I just got through to you a second ago. There wasn't actually anybody there and it just went through to voicemail. I've tried actually a few different numbers just to get to the switchboard, so I've had to go through this way again. I don't know who you'd need to pass me on to, but I just need to ask a couple of questions about some of the things that are on the website. Who would I go to? Or do you have a legal department, or that I could be?
Yes, the only problem that we've got at the moment is because we're obviously all working from home.
Right.
I can only go by first name and surname. So obviously, if I've tried to get you through to a PA and it goes through to voicemail, it could be that she's either dealing with another call, or she could just be in a meeting. Voicemail activated. So I can certainly get you through again and just leave the lady a message and she will come back to you.
Okay, then I'll do that. That's perfect.
Is that all right?
Yeah, that's brilliant. Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm just going to try again for you. Thank you.
Thanks.
Your call has been forwarded to the voicemail for Jean. No one is available to take your call. At the tone, please record your message. When you've finished recording, you may hang up or press the hash key for more options.
Hi Elizabeth, I've just been put through to yourself via the switchboard. I understand that you're Ashley's PA. I've got a couple of questions that I just need to clarify, if that's okay. If somebody could call me back on, I'd really appreciate it. Many thanks.
Good morning, good afternoon, you're speaking to Lynn State Boots. How may I help you?
Hi, sorry, what was your name? Sorry?
Lillian, how may I help
Lillian,
you?
oh hiya. Yeah, basically, I've kind of been around in circles for the last couple of weeks, actually, just trying to get hold of some information, and I finally ended up getting back to yourselves. Now, I'll just basically explain. I understand that it's actually Boots, the company, that are issuing and doing the testing for the COVID-19 virus. Would that be correct?
No, it isn't. No.
Oh, it's on the G4S website that you do.
So it may be, is it to do with COVID-19?
No, basically, I've been to the COVID-19 test. Well, I actually started phoning around all of the government departments initially. My MP spoke to the school. This is all basically on the back of the guidance that we've been given for our children in case of assumed COVID-19. And basically, I just went on to look on the government's website, and it said the only one test that was actually branded and named, which I believe was Randox, had been recalled as problematic. Now, the other tests, it said that there are other tests, but they come under an umbrella term called the Kingfisher tests or something to that effect. But it had no mention on there of any of the information regarding any of the companies or the science or what the tests are actually called. So I've been around in circles trying to find that information and still hadn't been given it. So I actually went into a COVID-19 test centre a couple of days ago, and the lady there told me, and I mean, I've got that recorded, like she said that she works for G4S. The lad that worked there said that he thinks they're keeping it quiet, which is a bit suspect, but I was like, okay. But they couldn't tell me where any of it goes. Now, coming back and looking through G4S's website, it clearly states on there, her name is Jo somebody, the woman that's running the whole show. But it clearly states on the G4S website that the tests are all sent to Boots to be done. So we need to find out, because obviously my children are off school at the moment because nobody knows what these tests are. But it says on their website that they send them on to Boots for the actual testing.
Let me see if I can try. You just come through. I just do opticians appointments and vaccinations. But I just do the booking in. Let me just take some details, and I'll probably put you through to customer care. Can I just take your first name so I can introduce you? Please?
Yeah, it's Kaylee. K-A-L-E-Y.
Kaylee.
Yeah.
Kaylee, thank you. Just down the line, Kaylee,
Thank you.
please. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Is that Katie there?
Hiya, speaking. How are you?
Hi there. I'm very well, thanks. My name's Rob. I work with the customer care team. How's that can help you today?
Basically, I was just explaining to your colleague, I've kind of been around in circles trying to find out some information regarding these COVID-19 tests. We've all been given, obviously, these guidelines, not only for ourselves, but for our children, and how to go about getting a test for them if they show any of the symptoms at school. Now, obviously, just as a concerned parent, we kind of would like to know where the tests are going, who's doing the tests according to what science, just to kind of figure out what the actual test is based on. Now, the only test that was actually named on the government's website, which I've Randox, I can't remember off the top of my head, was recalled as problematic. And the other tests that were available, they weren't specified, weren't named, and they were just called a group under an umbrella term, which was Kingfisher, I believe. Now, there's no information regarding these tests at all on the government's website. I've been through all of the departments, Department of Health and Social Care, Public Health England. I've been onto the COVID calling centres, and I've been passed around in circles basically until it gets back to the first one, telling me to go back to the last one, how that goes. So I've been onto the MP. The MP's taken it up with the Department of Health and Social Care. Now, I thought in the interim, while I was waiting, I'd pop into a COVID centre myself, which I did a couple of days ago, and found out from the lady, they were actually really pleasant, the two people that I spoke to, they had no clue about anything. They said there wouldn't be anybody on the site that would be able to let them know. Now, she did tell me that their company is actually G4S, which is a security/surveillance company. And she made it very clear that nobody on site would have any idea about this information, about where the tests go. All she could say was that the tests went via Royal Mail and then came back the next morning. She couldn't tell me where to. And obviously saying that nobody else would be able to kind of suggests that there's nobody medical actually present on the sites, which is a bit concerning in and of itself. But anyway, all of that aside, that's just the backstory to where I'm at. So coming back, I've then gone and looked into the G4S website to see if there's anything on there to say where these tests will be going to, where they actually go to, who's actually conducting it. And it does say on there, the chair, or I can't remember her exact title, but the lady in charge of the whole operation anyway for G4S regarding the COVID testing centres has specified on an article from June, so only a month and a bit ago, that they get sent to Boots. They get sent to your company to be, the testing is actually held at Boots somehow. So I'm now asking you, Boots, do you have the information for us?
It's really very strange. I mean, I should say straight away, so I actually work with the central booking line based in Nottingham head office. The types of appointments we can book strictly at the moment are, from a pharmacy point of view, just nothing to flu jabs. It does have been sort of taken off the shelf for the time being, but there's been no communications about actually doing COVID tests from the ground boot. So that's quite strange. I mean, certainly what I could do is see if we can find any local boot opticians to you and then ask them directly about it in case that's something that the stores deal with directly. It's not something I've heard of.
So if you're not just the opticians. Am I speaking to just the opticians, am I? Or,
no, we take pharmacy appointments.
It was the pharmacy number. Yeah, that is incredibly strange. That is incredibly strange. Perhaps you might need to get somebody to check on G4S's website, because they are naming your company. Your company is being responsible for all of this. Now, obviously, there's a lot of there's not just parents. Everyone all over the world has been affected by COVID. You know, and if G4S saying that it's you guys that are doing the actual testing and you are refuting that, that's quite a big deal, you know?
Yeah, no, of course. So which area are you based in at the moment?
I'm near Ipswich.
Ipswich, let's have a look.
I mean, to be fair, I've been to the test centre myself. I'm in touch with my MP. I'm in touch with everybody already. I'm just literally trying to find where are these tests going to, and according to what sites, you know. And it shouldn't be that difficult to get an answer.
No, it's really odd. I mean, I'm just having a look. I mean, the first one that's come up for me is the Ipswich Tavern Street one. It looks like it's slap bang in the centre of Ipswich. But under their pharmacy services, it's not listing anything to do with those services. I mean, I'm happy to give them a quick ring and we can actually speak to them directly, see if they know any more.
That would be handy, because I mean, obviously they have to be going somewhere, don't they? And if the company doing it is saying that it's you, but you're saying it's not, then there's a big problem. It can be odd with the appointments we book, because we don't actually deal with the sort of the product side of it. We just make the appointments, strictly speaking. So whether the store has different processes could well be the case, and we just don't deal with that side of it. I mean, however we can find out.
What they say.
Yeah. I mean, if you could, that would be fantastic, because somebody will need to know if it is Boots. If Boots are doing this somehow, even if it's not, if it's something out of your remit or outside of your department, somebody ought to know, and somebody ought to be able to say.
Absolutely, and then we should get this locked and looked into anyway. Because you won't be the only person who's looking at that information as well. So
exactly.
It needs to be addressed. But yeah, I'll just get them on the line now, and we'll have a quick word with them.
That's perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, through to Boots. My name's Adele. Can I say your name, please?
Hiya, my name's Kaylee. I just got cut off. I've already been through and was put through to a gentleman that was making another call on my behalf. I got cut off in the middle of that call.
Okay, at the moment, Boots are providing COVID-19 tests.
Sorry, say that again.
For those going to the UAE, as in travelling to the UAE. But to the best of my knowledge, they're only being done at Piccadilly, Oxford Street, and one of the stores in Manchester.
Okay, but Boots are handling those ones.
Only for the UAE, yes.
Right. Okay. All right. Could you then, in that case, could you get the name of the test and the science that's referenced that the test is actually based on?
I don't have access to any of that, unfortunately. I mean, I can give you the number for one of the stores. You could ask the pharmacist there; they should have that.
Yeah, no, that would be fantastic, actually. Yeah.
Okay, just hang on, I'll find you the number for the store.
Which ones did you say? It was Piccadilly?
Piccadilly Circus
Yeah.
and London Oxford Street. And I believe there's one in Manchester, but I haven't been told which one.
Okay. Brilliant.
And they're open till 11 night, so.
Oh, fantastic. That's brilliant. Okay, so they're actually, so the tests are actually dealt with in store. Like, do they have like a lab in there? They actually conduct the test, the actual test itself?
I don't know where they get them processed, if they process them in store or not.
Okay.
But that's one of the questions you
Yeah,
need to
that's
have.
perfect. All right then. Thanks ever so much for your help. Much appreciated.
100 Oxford Street Boots, how may I help you?
Hiya, sorry, is that Oxford Street Boots?
There are 4 Oxford Street. We are 100 Oxford Street.
Oh, that's fine. Anyway, you should be able to tell me. Are you the pharmacist?
I can pass a phone to pharmacist.
That's perfect. If you could, that'd be wonderful. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, pharmacy. How can I help?
Oh, hi there. Is it Oxford Street branch?
Yeah, we're one of the ones on Oxford Street. The one by Bond Street.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, you're the main one. Is that correct?
Yeah, we're the biggest
Yeah,
one.
perfect. Okay, I've been sent to yourselves. I've been round in circles trying to get some information about the COVID-19 tests.
Okay, yeah.
And I've basically the one test that was named on the government website has been recalled. And we've been trying to find out, a few of us now have been trying to find out exactly who's doing the testing, where it's being done, and according to what science it's based, and like a company name or a brand's name of the actual kits that are being used. And we've been told that you deal with them yourself there.
So we do testing. Is it because you're travelling that you need the test?
No. See, the G4S website, which is the security/surveillance firm that's actually operating the whole thing across the country, only names Boots as the only people that are dealing with the tests. Now, obviously, as concerned parents, we'd like to know what the tests are, and what science they're based on, who makes them.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
Because we only do COVID testing on behalf of 2 airlines, so Emirates and Etihad. So the tests we do are through them. We don't do any of the testing other than that.
Do you have any information regarding those tests at all?
You want to know what brands they are?
Yeah, the brand. Thank you.
So the brand name on the swab is Copan.
Sorry, how do you spell that, sorry?
Copan.
Copan. Just that? Just Copan?
Yeah, Copan Italia.
Is there any more information, just even side effects or anything like that? Or just like any information, I don't even mean side effects, I mean, is there any extra information? Is there any insert or anything, or is it literally just a name on the test?
It's literally just the name on the outer packet of the test.
On the outer
The best people to contact the company that run it are called Pure Health. They're a company based in the UAE. Yeah, it's not a Boots. It's although we do the swab here,
right?
It's not a Boots service. It's nothing to do with Boots. It's just we do it.
Right. See, because the G4S website only states Boots, and it doesn't specify that that's only for travelling. It says that the tests are all handed over to Boots. That's what it says on the website. So that's
okay.
That's quite.
It may have been I'm not sure about that because we don't do general testing in this store.
Okay.
We only do it for the UAE.
Yeah, so you don't get shipments in from the COVID testing centres then to do it and then send them back? No, so that'd be an external lab probably somewhere, would it?
Yeah.
Okay, so so you've never done general testing either? Is it only for this airline?
Yeah, we've never done general testing.
Okay, is that company-wide, do you know, or just in your store?
As far as I'm aware, it's company-wide. I know that they shipped in some of the optician staff to do general NHS testing.
Good afternoon, G4S Switchboard. How can I help you?
Oh, hi there. Could I please be put through to Ashley, I can't remember his surname, I've not got the link up, the CEO of the company or his PA, please? I tried earlier a couple of times, but left a message, but I haven't been called back.
In the recent days and weeks, Kaylee has been in constant contact with the school. What you're about to hear is a compendium of those calls and the progress or lack of made over the period of time. Please try and remember these are calls that have been spliced together to make it easier on the ear.
I'm just asking, have you received I sent through some documentation and an email.
Yeah, I'm sending a reply back to you today.
Okay.
But basically, I can't find anything until it's gone to the county legal team. Because it's talking about legal documents and things like that.
Yeah.
To maintain school, so I can't do anything about that. I'm just sending up the copies of the county legal team.
Okay, do you know how long that might be to...
I don't know.
See, this is the issue that we've got. I mean, it's not just myself. There's lots of us parents that are really... Have you read the Commissioner's report?
Yeah, the one that you referenced to, yeah. I mean, it's all very involved and everything, but we've got like DSE guidance and Passive Blue, what's on the guidance, full stop sort of thing. You know, and I can't find anything that says anything different to what's on the guidance that says me. You know, if we were an academy, it would go to the academy, bosses, legal things, and then other county school, we're governed by the county legal team. So anything like that, to go directly to county, I can't find stuff like that.
Right, do you understand the predicament that the parents are in at the moment with the situation?
Yeah, I understand that there are different points of view. I know, I get that. You know, lots of people have different points of view on the whole thing, and I understand that. But from the school and me being an employee at Suffolk County, I can't different to that. You see what I mean?
No, I totally get what you mean, and I'm not hostile at all toward the school. You know, it's not that at all. It's just trying to put in some sort of a safeguarding to preempt.
I mean, the children would never be taken anywhere. I know there's something going around on Facebook about children being taken to hospitals and for tests by the schools. Well, schools wouldn't have to do that. You know, if there was any symptoms or whatever, the parents would then phone, and the parents would have to pick up the children and take them for a test.
That's exactly what we're trying to establish, because what's actually happened with the regulations is it's left it open.
Yeah.
You know.
We wouldn't do that. We would do
I understand and I completely appreciate that, but I just now got a cold.
Yeah.
So I'm now in a really difficult situation as to what I'm supposed to do, because I'll tell you now, I've got our MP, James Cartledge. Yep, he's actually on this with me at the moment, trying to get through to the Department of Health and Social Care to try and to clarify at this point.
Yeah.
So he's behind me, even, you know.
Yeah, well, that's good then, because then the DFE guidance will come down after that then. You know, and the schools will get advised accordingly, and then we put it in place. But, you know, we have like 40-page documents on what schools have got to do over the holidays, and then this is like revised the last Friday. I mean, there are all sorts that we have to follow, and we have to follow that. But it wouldn't be us taking the children anywhere, you know, to do anything to them.
No, it's not even that the school would. It's not that the school would. It's basically the Public Health England, which Matt Hancock dissolved a couple of days later, set out guidelines to the public health officers, who would be the people that would be coming to kind of enforce that grey area between what Public Health England have told to the public health officials or officers, and now they've been dissolved as well. So there's not even any liability or accountability, you know, coming back to those guidelines. But they're very draconian. I don't know if have you read through those? Honestly, I would suggest that you read through them. You see the amount of times they say how to enforce your powers, how to enforce your powers, how, you know, it is very crazy. Everything that's going on is very crazy.
But look, if we've got a suspected case in school, you know, we have to phone Public Health England for their advice. You know, that's the procedure.
Right, okay, so you just clarified that that's what they've asked you to do. So what, would you do that before you phone a parent? Is that what they've asked?
No, because the procedure at school is that if you've got symptoms, phone the parent, the parent comes and picks up the child. So then if there's any other confusion about what's happening with the testing and what have you, then you would make the Public Health England aware, and you would ask for advice if you need it, sort of thing.
Okay, all right, okay, yeah.
It's quite clear that if the child's got symptoms, like a child's got a cough or got a temperature, then
Right, okay, right. Do you see now the problem that I've got? Because this is exactly what I've been trying to do. You know that the only test that's ever been branded or named has been recalled as ineffective. Right, okay, and then beyond that, the government's own website does not specify any other tests. Now, I've been around all of the government departments. I've got the MP, local MP on my case with it, trying to figure out who is actually conducting these tests, according to what science, and who gets to determine whether they're negative or positive, and then who allows them to go back to school. Nobody can answer any of these questions. There's no information. So it's like, I know the guidelines are saying take them home and then get them tested, but if they can't tell me who's testing them, or according to what science, then who determines whether that test means anything?
Yeah, definitely not. I have to get the results. I said, tell the parents to go and get the tested, because you can go to Cox, can't you, and get the test done.
You can go and get the test done, but if you don't know who's doing the testing, then what are you testing for in the first place?
Well, I don't know.
Do you know what I mean? This is
but you know, from our point of view, that's the only thing I can say. But that's what is the advice in the DFE thing, and that's what we have to do.
Okay. Do you know what? In that case, until something can be in written confirmation, I just can't send them back. But I'm not prepared to do this test. And like I say, the MP is behind me and he's challenging the Department of Health and Social Care on it, because I've not been able to get anywhere personally.
Yeah.
So.
You probably won't get anywhere very quickly with any of that.
In that case, then we've got no safeguarding against if the public health officers have been given these guidelines where they feel like they've got these. It's actually ultra virus. It's not actually lawfully enforceable because it's been passed ultra virus. So these regulations aren't. This is where there's a whole murky area in the law. But when we're talking about our children, it's not something you can risk, you know, it's not something you can risk. So I'm in a really difficult position. I'm waiting for the MP to get back to me today. I'm hoping he's going to do so in the next day or two so that this can just preempt any problems that we've got as well.
We just have to keep us in touch. If the children are not well anyway, then you will be keeping them in and you'll be telling us.
Yeah, I see. I'm going to have to do that anyway because they're definitely.
Beyond that, you have to say, well, you were home educating them, and then it was like that'll be a whole different ballgame because it becomes elective home education.
Yeah.
Other than that, you'd then be having the education wellness officer around.
Yeah, and I understand I'm probably going to end up having somebody on my case at some point. Did you say you've passed it to your legal body so that
the county council, because we're Suffolk Local Authority School, and the Suffolk Local Authority have their school team.
Yep,
so it goes there.
Kind of, I expect. So if the teachers are allowed to sign off that what you've just said is what you're happy to do, then there's no problem, you know. As long as the parents are going to get called first and we've got that in writing, that's literally all that we're looking for.
Yeah, we'll do. I mean, well, as soon as I hear anything back, obviously I'll let you know that what they've got. I'll send you this letter back that just, you know, that acknowledges that I've got it and all that. So.
Yes.
I can't sign anything. I'm not allowed to sign anything.
Right.
To say, but looking at what's on the thing that I have to sign technically.
Yeah.
Taking temperature, we wouldn't do anyway, other than doing it with like a temperature gun thing. But if you just want that, then we do that. The screening they don't have. Medical assessment or testing they don't have. Vaccination will be up to you because you have to give your permission anyway.
Yeah.
So, and it says, concern arises when they're ready to see symptoms. Like, that's what, they'd only be isolated on the school premises. They don't use them anywhere else. All they do is if they've got a cough or a bit of hot sort of thing, they go into a side room with another adult, and then we ring the parents. And the parents
I'm 100% assuming that's exactly what you would do if that situation arises. You know, it's just, I don't know if you you know, I mean, I'm not saying for a second that the school would do anything along or allow for anything like this to go on. It's just there are gaps in the law. I'm curious as to why they've said that you're not allowed to sign it.
Yeah, it's just that schools don't sign things like that.
Are you allowed to put it in writing in your own words?
No, all I can say is that we are following the DFE status. The guidance says, you know, if there's a concern in terms of symptoms, like it's got down here, they're just taken to a separate room with supervision from somebody wearing PPE, and then we ring the parents.
But that's the thing is, the problem though is that they've told, they're the guidelines for the schoolwork, I presume, that you're referring to, are they? The The guidelines for the school.
The Department of Education guidelines.
Yeah, see now, the issue is that's in conflict with the guidelines that are issued to the actual public health enforcers themselves, or the officials themselves. I've read through that document quite extensively. I've seen it with my own eyes. I've seen the language that's used, and I've seen what it is that they're actually saying they are unable to do if they choose to. And you confirmed to me that you have to go straight to them for their advice first, which in effect just puts them in charge.
Yeah, only if you then said to me you weren't going to come and pick them up, for instance, or you got symptoms and you.
But there's a lot of grey area. There is a lot. If you read the actual notes to the enforcers themselves, that's why I'm a little bit uncomfortable, because it seems quite like a worst case scenario. It seems quite different what could happen in theory, according to the guidelines to themselves. Well, not to themselves. It was the Public Health England that issued the guidelines to them, and they've actually dissolved, like I was saying before. They've dissolved, so it's not even that nobody's even really accountable for why those. Because I mean, they were dissolved days after releasing that. It just seems odd that. Honestly, I would suggest just go read it, because you'll there's lots of parents that are really worried that have read those guidelines. You know, it's not just me being paranoid, or it does seem to be in conflict with potentially with what you'd actually consider to be the standard procedure and what you feel you've been advised. It's not exactly marrying up with what the actual officers have been advised, from what I can see.
I mean, from our point of view, what we would do is, taking the temperature thing. If you didn't want me to use like a temperature checking thingy, then basically I would just feel their foreheads if they were hot. Then I would give you a ring and say, they think they have a temperature. Do you want to pick them up and go and get tested? So I would never take a child off premises, never. We wouldn't do that. Nobody likes to do that, because that's just not what we do. Okay.
Yeah, no, I understand, but it's them. Do you then become, if they're your authority, because you've said a few times you have to do what they say. So if they then
only if you refuse to come and pick them up, but then you still wouldn't then take them to the children anywhere. Then somebody has to say, well, the parent is refusing, but you're not going to refuse anyway, are you?
I know, obviously I'm not going to refuse, but worst case scenario, say somebody couldn't get hold of us, another teacher that hadn't had this conversation with me then does make that phone call, then a public. Do you see why there's a concern? There's always different scenarios that could arise, and if there's gaps that haven't been closed off.
That could be for anything. Say, the child fell over and broke their arm or whatever, and then you couldn't get hold of the parent, then there'd be certain protocols to follow.
That's true, but then I'd have faith in the fact that you've assessed that there's a broken arm. What my issue is at the moment is still nobody's been able to tell me where these tests have come from. And Boris Johnson's just announced today he's plowing 500 million more into the whole scheme, but still nobody's been able to clarify where these tests have come from, because the only ones that have been out there have been recalled. So that's what's concerning. It's just that's not been clarified yet. And I mean, even the Department of I've been through literally every single department. My MP's now been onto the Department of Health and Social Care, and they've told me I might still need to wait a month to even get a response on it. But the children needs to be back in school. All we want is just confirmation. Did they give you a reason? Like, what law would it be? Why would you not be allowed to? Like, did they give you an actual reason, or just say no, you're not allowed to? Because
no, we don't. It's just that schools don't sign things like that. They don't sign things that parents send to them as if it were. There's legal law against it as such, but you can't just sign stuff that somebody sends to you. Sign them on the point of do it. I can say to you, because all we're doing is following the guidance, and that's all I can say to you, is that we are following the DfE guidance. The DfE guidance says that we will phone the parent if they've got symptoms, and the parent will come and get them. It doesn't say anything else other than that.
Yeah, no, it doesn't at the moment, but then there's other literature which is given a different scenario to other people involved in the whole situation. That's the concern.
I think about tests and where they come from and everything, we can't get involved in all that.
They should have been able to answer. This was weeks ago. I've asked for this information. I didn't want this to be an issue. I want the children back in school. Would come in and want to do anything like that. I'm just saying it's open to it. We just have to be careful.
Yeah.
Would you be able to would I be able to contact the department that's given you the answer, or the legal department myself, and just maybe have a conversation with them?
No, they wouldn't provide legal guidance to schools, not to parents. they give you the test and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah,
the legal side of it is that we have to follow what the DFE says, because that's the government side. So they pass the government down to us, and we have to do it. You know, there's no question about what you have to do, like having all these staggered starts and writing everything down. That's the guide, and you have to do it. You know, there's nothing leeway there. We have to follow what they say. But it does, the guidance is what's on there. That we would, if they got symptoms, we would phone you. Nobody's wearing a mask today.
And when you were saying that in case, let's say if you couldn't get the hold straight away, you said that if there was a suspected case that you need to phone them for advice anyway. So would it be a case of if one of the children's head was warm and I came to collect them, would you still get onto them and report it as like a potential case, or?
No, I don't think so. We don't have a sharp. No, I don't think so. I think you then, what we do is you pick them up, and then you take them to be tested, they get a negative test or whatever, and you phone them and say they've got a negative test, you bring in the test results,
right. Until I know what the test is, they're not going to be getting tested. So would they not be able to come back to school if they'd been sent home unwell? Is it a condition of coming back to school that they have to provide a negative test?
Well, they have to go get tested. I don't think that's
right. So this is where we're going to come unstuck. That's going to be the issue, because
if it's a COVID symptom, then there's only like a tiny chance that it will be COVID. However, if it's a COVID symptom, the children have to get tested, because technically they could then, if you didn't get tested and they came back, they could technically bring COVID back into school.
This is where there's going to be the sticking point with a lot of the parents, because a lot of the parents, until they understand where the tests have come from, what science they're based on, aren't going to be happy to have them subjected to a test. That's the problem. So it is a condition, basically. They have to prove negative to be able to come back anyway.
You have the test. I mean, you haven't actually necessarily got to bring the negative test in, but you will be able to go and get tested. Yeah.
Right.
And then that protects them on the rest of the school.
Yeah, no, I see. Yeah, this is kind of what we envisaged being the problem then. So this is exactly why we just want to know what the tests are.
Yeah.
Which has started me off on this whole thing of just being on a roller coaster run around, just trying to find some information. Okay, well, I'm going to have to take some time out to think. I mean, they're off for a couple of weeks now anyway because they've had the colds. So, so I'm just going to have to really think this through and see if.
I mean, they really need you back in school. Somehow or another, find a way to have them back.
Well, this is going to be reliant on somebody being able to tell me what the test is, and then if I'm happy with the test and its efficacy, then I'll be happy for them to have the test.
Yeah.
So it's not me.
The educational welfare officer will follow it up.
I'm assuming that they will. This is why I'm going to have to think about it.
Yeah, and you'll end up getting fined, and so will their dad. Because they find each parent. So it's like £60 per parent per child type thing.
Well, no, see, this is what we need to now just think about what we're going to do. I mean, if in that time I've decided that they're not coming back and I've already done what I need to do legally to change it to homeschooling, I wouldn't get fined then, would I?
Good afternoon. Primary school.
Hiya, it's Mum. I had a missed call again.
Yeah, sorry. I've been speaking with Mrs. Mitchell about it, and she said, are the children still unwell? But it is definitely till Monday that the children will have to come back into school. Otherwise, it will have to be referred to the EWO, which is the Educational Welfare Officer.
Right. Okay. No, you said tomorrow, and I was just like, that's just a week. That's only a week. So.
Yeah, but what she's saying, as a sort of discretion, we'll give you till Monday. I mean, tomorrow's Thursday, but I mean.
Yeah, no, but you said 10 days, and they were supposed to go back on the 3rd, and it's the 9th today. So 10 days would be Monday anyway, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So I think. Do you think they will be back Monday?
I really can't give you an answer at the moment. I'm really up to my eyes in trying to sort this out. There's a lot of us that are in this exact same situation at the moment and facing the exact same thing, and it's not been finalised. It's very complicated, very involved, and very stressful. And we all want our kids to be back at school. It's not that we don't want them to be there at all, but there's there's stuff that's just not making sense and not ironed out that should really be very easy for us to be able to clarify. We've just not been at this. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of us doing this. This is a big thing at the moment. So I just can't give you an answer right now. Although I do understand, as the school, if you've not been notified of anything else, that would be the step that you need to take to follow your guidelines. I understand that. I do understand that, but obviously it's only, where are we? It's Wednesday today, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I need to just get as much as I can together and figure out what's going to go on, and obviously speak with their father as well.
Yeah.
And just...
He knows they're off.
Oh, he does, yeah. No, I'm talking to him every day about this situation. He does know, yeah. He knows.
Okay. All right then. Well, if you can give us a call on Monday, obviously, if we, we'd like to see them here. So if they're here Monday, that's absolutely fine. If they're not, can you give us a call in the morning?
Of course, I'll be in touch before Monday. I'll definitely be in touch by Friday at the latest anyway. But
all right.
Yeah, sorry, I can't give you a clear answer at the moment.
That's right. Okay, thanks for coming back to us.
No problem at all.
Thank you.
All right, take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Rachel.
Oh, hiya, how you doing?
Oh, fine, thank you.
Oh, not too, well, I'd say not too bad. Still in a bit of a sticky situation, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen the email that was sent out today of the flowchart of the COVID.
Yeah.
It doesn't leave an option for not having a test, does it?
No, that's the guidance is if they have symptoms. But that's only if they have symptoms they've got to go downstairs.
Yeah, but see, like, this is the tricky bit. They've just been off with a cold, right?
Yeah.
Which I'm sure is a cold. You know, they're over it. They're fine. You know, I don't believe that there's anything more to it. I'm still waiting for clarification. The MP has told me I might have to wait a month. I've been on to yesterday. I spoke to the team leader of the parliamentary branch of the Department of Education, and she's taken the case on along with all of my everything that I've done so far to actually take it to the MPs and to try and actually get an answer for us.
Yeah.
So what's happening?
The issue is the test is the issue then, is it?
Well, it's the fact that the test is the issue because we don't know what it is. But what is more alarming is the fact that you've already acknowledged that the public health officers you deem as your authority.
Yeah.
Right, but what they've been told is in conflict with the guidance that's been given to yourselves as teachers and to us as parents. And there's more legislation that was passed, I don't know if you know about it, on the 28th of August.
Yeah, got that.
Yeah, it's kind of lining up for a vaccine rollout, you know, and they've actually taken away any liability or accountability for any damage or injury that may come from that. That's a personal choice for a parent to take with them or not.
Yeah, I mean, that's a way off the vaccine. I mean, we're talking like next year or late 2021.
We say that, but everything changes day by day, and they've actually passed this legislation to make it from 1 week. We've actually got 1 week as the populace to speak out against this. We've got 1 week. This legislation will be passed. That's going.
They don't vaccinate children unless they've got permission. It's like the flu vaccine thing that's coming up in November. Nobody vaccinates children without permission because you've got to give you permission to do it.
As it stands at the moment, but if you go and if you read through all the legislation that is being passed, it's absolutely not as black and white as that. It's really not. It's really not. And there's a lot of, like I say, I have the team leader of the parliamentary branch of the health, the Department of Education actually on this at the moment because she's as concerned. After listening to what I had to say, she's concerned too. So all of us are, but what the problem that we've got is now I'm in a position where come Monday, if I've not legally removed them from school, I'm now in a position where I'm going to be sanctioned for, in effect, I'm under duress at the moment because I've not been given the information that we should be privy to. If we're expected to have our children do something, and I've had this agreed with, this isn't me being antagonistic or like a pain in anyone's butt or anything like that. I'm just literally trying to find out what is going on, what the tests are. And every human being that I've spoken to has agreed with me with what my concerns are. And I know that there's also a large group of people across the country who are in exactly the same position as me right now. So we've been put in a place where we're kind of under duress because we're waiting on this clarification to make us confident enough to send our children back to school. But if they can't give it to us quick enough by the guidelines, then we're in the wrong. You know, we're in the...
If they got the symptoms, which is unlikely they've had a cough, they won't get any of the symptoms anyway. So if they then came back to school, if they then had the symptoms and we had to ring you, you'd pick them up, then have some education, and then you say, all right, I'm not taking them for test, and then they'd be off school.
I understand what you're saying. This is not my issue with the school at all. It's not my issue with the school. It's the fact. It's the fact that you've already acknowledged that they are your authority, and now what I've seen makes me very uncomfortable about them being an authority and the way that everything's changing day by day. I'm not confident in that. Now, their education won't be a problem. I'm more than capable to take that on if I have to do it in a homeschooling setting. I don't want to do that. But I can do that if I need to. I obviously do not want to have somebody turning up and giving us a hard time because we've been forced into this position under duress. It's not that any of us have chosen to do this. I don't want them to be homeschooled. I want them to be in school. But at the same time, as a vigilant parent, especially when I've had so many people in different departments of government agree with me and they're still waiting to find the answer, it would not be responsible of me to send them back in at this point in time until I've got some clarification from somewhere.
About what the test is?
But yeah, well, what the test is. I mean, they're rolling out 10 billion into it by 2010 and still nobody can tell us what the test even is.
Yeah, but if they were here, we wouldn't take them for a test anyway because we don't do that.
I know you wouldn't, but you've already said that the Public Health Authority are your authority. You know, so
what they've told us to do is like on my phone chart. What we have to do is if a child has symptoms, we ring the parent comes and gets them. Now at that point, you are then supposed to take them for a test. But then if they're not in school, then we're not going to enforce that. It would be up to somebody else. But until they get symptoms, have a normal schooling then. So it would be better for them to be here because just while you're waiting to find out what the test is, they could be in school. Because nothing's going to happen to them here. Nobody's going to send them for a test from here. That's not what we do.
I know that's not what you do, but you've already acknowledged that the authority lays with somebody else, and their guidelines are completely different to yours.
No, not in this. The guidelines that I set back on that flow chart are the ones from Public Health England. That's what they say. They just say you have to not have somebody say they want to have a cough, send them home, and the parent gets a test. Now, if you chose not to get it at that point, then that's a different. Then it's that's a different story type thing. But it's still not. I wouldn't then.
We're kind of already in that situation because you did say at the beginning that they can't come back to school unless they've had a test and proven negative, and you're asking me to bring them back. They haven't had a test and they won't be having a test. And
you said they got colds, so they just need to be off for the 10 days until they've had until their cold symptoms have gone. So
yeah.
Have their cold symptoms have gone presumably now.
Oh, absolutely, they have, absolutely. Yeah. But we've not. It's not that we've not got further. This flowchart only allows for having a test. Now, I'm still. So where do we sit? If they have cold symptoms again, am I able to take them out for 14 days or 10 days then?
Yeah, if they have COVID symptoms, the thing, because the COVID symptoms are slightly different to a cold. So the cold ones will be like, running nose, all this sort of thing, sneezing, all of that.
Well, Eleni had a consistent cough. Like, I'm not going to lie about it. She had a cough, but it's gone. So
it's gone. So in which case they can come back.
So why on earth are people being asked to take this test that nobody knows what it's about in the first place if the cough goes anyway?
I don't know. I mean, this is the option on it.
But see, the flow chart only allows for if you have a test. So you're saying that you're okay if the symptoms have passed in that time frame, you're okay for them to come back without a test?
Well, if they have COVID symptoms, they're supposed to get a test.
But COVID symptoms...
You're supposed to mean that they had a cold, didn't you?
Yeah, but a cold is also a cough. Like, who gets to determine what's a cold, what's a flu, what's a cough, what's COVID, what's...
Normally, people will just get tested in case, because, persistent cough, we're not medical people, so we can't say, well, this cough is COVID, that cough's not COVID, or whatever.
Exactly.
So they don't have a test, but it doesn't come back in 12 hours, they come back to school. That's that.
Right, okay, I see what you're saying. I'm still in a sticky situation at the moment because the test has not been clarified. I am not confident that if something changes overnight, these guys don't come in and say that they're running the show, because apparently they feel like they've got that authority, and apparently the school feels like that they've got that authority as well. You know,
I don't think anybody's going to do that. I think there's no reason to walk into, like, you know, and be a military operation and what to do. You know, you've got thousands of children back in school, hundreds of schools, and we're just getting on with it as normal. You know,
it's not normal though, is it? When you're calling it the new norm, the new normal, it's not quite normal.
Yeah, definitely. But nobody's going to march in here and take children or anything like that, because that's not going to happen. You know, it's not like that. I mean, if you saw the children back in school now, it's just like they're afraid. I mean, all right, they've got this, you know, keep the little classes separate, and they have to fight and all the rest of it. But they're all, you know, friends. They're happy. They're doing. I've got 198 out of children back.
Yeah, no, and I absolutely appreciate that, but we've also got hundreds of families across the country that are completely concerned with the same things, because it leaves it open. You know, there are abuses of power that happen sometimes. I'm not being conspiratorial about this whatsoever. All I needed really was, first and foremost, the clarification of the test, because it has been legislated, and maybe you haven't read it all. It has been legislated that they are going to be able to take these actions. If they deem somebody potentially infectious, they can remove them for 14 days, and that does extend to children. That's just in their legislation. You know, so they literally
protect everybody else, presumably.
It would, yeah, it would be to protect everybody else. It doesn't stop it happening to my child. If for some reason their father and myself was not available for a few hours, and somebody took it upon themselves to phone the public health officers, and they came in, they have the power, according to themselves and according to the Public Health England, via the guidelines that they issue to the public health officers, they have the authority to take our children somewhere for 14 days, and I'm just not happy with that. You know?
That's not our guidance at all.
No, that's the exact, right, thank you. That's the exact point I've addressed with all of the government departments, and nobody can clarify it. Why are they in such conflict?
Yeah,
but at the end of the no, they won't. Yeah, absolutely. But then you've got the public health officers, who you've already acknowledged are your authority, have been told that they have the power to implement this. This is what's in their guidelines. I can send you the link. You can read it for yourself. It's not. No. In the guidelines, it actually says if you feel that somebody may be infectious, you have the power to do this. I'm telling you now. Go and you have to read it. I'll send it to you if you want.
Yeah. Well, I get that they have. If we have a child in school, say, for instance, that was coughing and having high temperature and had those symptoms, and the parent said, "I am refusing to pick up my child from school," then potentially you'd have to, for the sake of all your children and their health, you would have to then ring up another authority who would then deal with it. That would only be if somebody was refusing to pick up an infectious child from school, because then you're risking the health of the other 200 children. You wouldn't have in any other situation, because the parents just pick them up. I imagine that because the government is there to protect everybody from a parent that might say, "Well, I'm refusing to pick my child up."
Yeah, no, I completely understand, and I get what you're saying. And if I'd only read the teachers' guidelines and the parents' guidelines, I'd agree with you. But the fact is, I've been through this with people in government, people in office, and they have acknowledged the concerns, and they can't answer me. And they're concerned as well, and they're pushing forward to try and find out what's like really going on here. And I cannot in good conscience send them back at this point in time, not having this clarified. It should be something so simple that the government should be able to tell us this is what the test is and this is where it's come from. It should be so simple, and everybody's agreed with me so far. I'm not doing this out of trying to be awkward, or I really do want my children to be back in school. This is heartbreaking for me. This entire situation is heartbreaking. I don't want them to be at home at the moment. But until this is clarified, I just cannot in good conscience send them back until I completely have it signed off, like exactly what.
I don't think you'll ever find out what the actual test is, because the test is done in a laboratory. So basically, they take a sample of and they test it for the virus. And you know, the test is either positive for the virus or negative for it.
Yeah. So right, who gets to say that? The first test that was being used widely was actually named and branded and has been recalled, and we've been able to follow that one. That one was called Randox. Now, the others have all been termed Kingfisher group of tests with no name, no branding, no nothing. So there's no science to back it up. There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. So how vigilant a parent is it to be to say, okay, then just because somebody says so? I mean, you could test for 1,000,001 things and find out who gets to say what is going on.
Yeah, but it doesn't harm them to do it.
It doesn't harm
anybody to get a negative test or a positive test. It doesn't harm them. Yeah.
You know.
I can't advise you anything other than the children need to come to school. You know, because that's we've been told that legally the children need to be in school.
No, they don't legally need to be at school. They could legally be at home if I pull them out of school.
Yeah, you get me. Yeah, if you pulled them out and you said you wanted to do elective home education.
Yeah, and I don't want. Then
I would refer that on to elective home education team in counselling.
Yeah, and again, I don't want to do that. That would be under duress. Again, it would be under duress because I'm still waiting for the information that should be readily available before they implement anything on the populace.
I know what you're saying. I know what you've got opinions and so on. But from my point of view, there's two things here. I mean, either they come back to school legally, or it's taken up legally with the welfare officer next week, or you elect to home educate them. But if you pull them out and do that, they lose their place here.
Well, that's the biggest issue that I've got, is that I really don't want that to happen, but I feel like I'm being pushed into a corner where I've got no choice at the moment.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, but I can't make the decision.
No, I know you can't.
The two choices you have at the moment, you either, because otherwise the welfare officer is going to say the same thing as me. You've got a legal obligation to have them in school.
Then we become in the wrong in their eyes because we're not sending our children to school, but we should be privy to this information if it's something that we're expected to do with our children,
Definitely. Well, thank you so much for getting in touch and calling. I want to look into this and try and help you with it. So you've actually come through to the parliamentary team at the Department of Education. I head up that team.
Okay.
But I deal with queries all the time from MPs and in turn through constituents. I can look into this for you. Would you feel comfortable dropping me an email?
Absolutely. Yeah, bear with me 2 seconds. I'll grab a pen. Excellent. Yep. What would the address be?
So if you share it to my team's shared mailbox, which is only monitored by 4 of us, so
okay.
it's team.
Yeah.
.parliamentary @education.gov.uk.
At education.gov.uk. UK. That's perfect. Sorry, what was your name again? I didn't quite catch.
My name's Amy.
Amy. Perfect.
Yeah. And if you can direct it to my attention, and I will endeavour to find an answer for you. And it's helpful as well if you can flag the link that you've spotted on gov.uk.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I've got lots and lots of things that I can send you that you'll see for yourself why we're a bit concerned. But all the guidelines are in conflict with one another as well. And just talking to everybody, it really seems like nobody knows what's going on or what. And I know that everything's changing daily, but obviously as parents, this is the most basic thing that we need to know, really, if we're expected to do something, what it's based on, That's fantastic. Okay, so I'll send you an email now then, and with the links and whatnot in it, my contact details as well. I really appreciate your help in taking that up. That's fantastic.
No worries, I'll look into it and try and find an answer for you. And if you want, like you mentioned your MPs, you could always mention them as well, because we might have set up a correspondence from them.
Okay,
excellent. To help link everything up. Yeah.
Perfect. I will do that.
Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Take care. Have a good day. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
This video has not been made to try and say Kaylee knows this or Kaylee knows that, or this conspiracy theory has been worked out, or this is how it's happening. This video has been made by concerned mums for concerned mums and dads. This video has been made for people asking very sensible, very normal questions that would be negligent not to ask. So while this video doesn't claim to have all the answers, it does claim to try and find out what truth that it can, and will continue to do so, as you'll see in part 3 that's coming.